It's Up to All of Us is a campaign developed by the California Department of Public Health. It is designed to improve pedestrian safety using messaging strategies. This public service announcement will discuss the use of the campaign strategies by and for tribal communities. In response to the need for increased safety and traffic knowledge, the California Department of Public Health, or CDPH, developed the workbook entitled Communication for Pedestrian Safety, Risk, Response, and Change. A pedestrian safety message should be a brief statement that raises awareness among pedestrians, drivers, and other road users about risks to pedestrian safety. It may also encourage behavioral change to reduce those risks. A pedestrian safety message is effective when the message is relevant to a particular risk, age group, road user, and or if the message is easy to remember. Unlike broad public campaigns, a culturally relevant pedestrian safety message is about you and other pedestrians in your community. The goals of this workbook are to explore methods to conduct outreach and organize around pedestrian safety issues, and prepare and respond to pedestrian crashes in a way that promotes education and change. Throughout the workbook, CDPH emphasizes how risk communication and communication for change work together to create safer pedestrian environments. The workbook is presented in two parts. Part 1 focuses on changing perceptions and behaviors and provides strategies for building and disseminating community change messages that can create and support pedestrian-friendly environments. Part 2 focuses on communication during a pedestrian-involved collision and serves as a guide to help you implement a risk communication plan that clearly defines your goals, objectives, and actions so that you are prepared to respond to the media and the public in a pedestrian-involved collision. If you are responsible for improving pedestrian safety in your community, this workbook provides tools, strategies, and templates for communicating pedestrian safety messages. The content can be modified to meet the needs and address concerns unique to your community. Tribes may use this workbook to learn about risk communication, how it can affect community norm change, and how that can result in improved protection of pedestrians within tribal communities. Strategies outlined in this workbook include media advocacy, risk communication, and community norm change. Media advocacy allows community groups to express their side of an issue in a manner that applies pressure for and promotes social change. Risk communication focuses on communicating knowledge about existing hazards and threats, as well as actions the public can take to minimize those risks. Community norm change is a broader strategy, and it combines behavioral, legislative, and environmental shifts to achieve community-wide change. This strategy involves messaging or change communication. With change communication, we can promote a change in the behavior or belief of individuals concerning pedestrian safety. We can reach specific audiences with relevant pedestrian safety messages, and we can impact the factors that influence behavior. Part 1 of the workbook prepares the foundations for developing pedestrian safety messaging. The key concepts for Part 1 include developing a strategy, reaching your audience through messaging, message development, and partner and stakeholder communications. Part 2 of the workbook provides a foundation for dealing with pedestrian-involved collisions. It provides information about risk communication, media outreach, identifying spokespersons, and delivering messages, as well as risk communication planning and response. Improving pedestrian safety within tribal communities requires a multi-pronged approach. To be successful in reducing pedestrian risk through changing the community's attitudes and behaviors, the approach should include a variety of actions that focus on engaging stakeholders and partners so that there is community buy-in and support of your strategy, improving or changing the physical environment whenever possible, educating pedestrians and drivers on safety measures, and messaging that impacts public attitudes and behaviors. Reaching your audience requires identifying key traits about the community. Do the people affected by the problem have a common demographic, age, language, or income? Once the audience has been identified, then a mode of communication can be chosen for the message. Modes of communication for pedestrian safety messaging include billboards, posters, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and organizational websites. The workbook provides many useful templates that will help you develop your pedestrian safety message as well as getting it out to the public. The template that we're going to focus on next is the Pedestrian Safety Message Map. The Message Map template is a tool that asks for a problem statement about pedestrian safety in your community. It has 3 key message elements: what we know, what are the risks, and action to be taken. It then asks for 3 supporting facts for each key message. This will establish why we know what we know about the pedestrian safety issue. The remaining portions of the template ask about the community language, culture, and practices. With this knowledge collected in one template, we can then begin developing a coherent and relevant pedestrian safety message. This is a sample completed message map involving a young child who was injured in a hit-and-run accident after school. Key message 1 states that a young child was taken to the hospital after being hit by an unknown driver in front of Treeside School this afternoon. Key message number 2 states children in and around our community schools continue to be vulnerable to speeding and unsafe drivers. And with those 2 messages, key message 3, the action to be taken, states practice shared road responsibilities. Supporting facts are listed below each key message, and information about the community's language, culture, and practices are also included in the completed message map. The La Jolla Band of Luiseño Indians experienced the death of a child in a pedestrian-involved collision. They went through the CDPH training and developed their own key messages in response to the death of the child. Their messages included, too many people have been injured or even killed in pedestrian traffic accidents on the La Jolla Indian Reservation. We're all at risk, but children are in greatest danger. It's up to all of us, drivers, people on foot, parents, and the whole community to help protect our people. In the process of completing the message map, they provided supporting facts for each one of the key messages. For key message number 1, what we know, the facts were as follows. Roads on the reservation are narrow and pedestrians use the shoulders as walkways. Brush hampers visibility on many roads. There is poor signage and crosswalks are not marked for pedestrians. Children don't have enough space to wait safely at school bus stops. For message number 2, the risks, the facts are as follows. Children are easily distracted and don't look carefully for traffic hazards. Children may be unsupervised while waiting at school bus stops. Children do not understand and follow safety practices and traffic laws. Drivers may drive too fast, engage in dangerous behavior like texting while driving, and fail to be alert for pedestrians. For key message number 3, action to be taken, the tribe outlined many of the actions that each one of the key stakeholders could use to improve pedestrian safety. It's up to drivers. Drivers need to be alert for pedestrians. They need to slow down. They need to drive responsibly. Don't text while driving. Watch out for pedestrians beside the roadway, crossing the road, and at school bus stops. It's up to pedestrians. Pedestrians need to be aware at all times and avoid dangerous behavior. Stay at the side of narrow roads. Be alert for traffic from both directions. Know and obey the traffic laws. It's up to parents. Parents need to make sure children are safe. Teach children pedestrian safety measures and traffic laws. Supervise children at dangerous bus turnarounds. Set a good example. It's up to tribal leaders and every member of the community to keep our people safe. The community needs to get actively involved in traffic safety. Set an example for the rest of the community and model how we take care of one another. Make pedestrian safety education a priority. Communicate efforts to the public.